Hi, I'm Luann from LEX 530 in Elkhart, Indiana. Today, I want to give you a quick update on our wedding giveaway. Our lucky winner, Lori, will be marrying Mike this weekend, and the reception will be here. We have partnered with Ivy Tech Culinary Students in planning and executing this big event. I want to show you some of the talented students and what they have created and prepared for Lori and Mike's big day.
So right now we're working on a Centerpiece sunflower for the event at LEX 530 on Saturday. So right now I'm rolling out some fondant. We went ahead and colored it a light color yellow that we're going to go over and paint again once we assemble the actual flower. So what I'm doing is I'm rolling it out because you want it thin. We want to make this flower look as realistic as possible. So the thinner you can get the petals, the more it's going to look like an actual flower. So once I get done wheeling it out and rolling it nice and thin, take this awesome tiny little cutter and I go through and I just make little petals. And once I have one made, I take the petal and I take a wire stem and I need to find the Tylose. We use Tylose. It's a food-safe glue essentially. You could quote unquote eat this flower, but you're not going to want to. So I set it in the middle and I want to get a nice stem on it so we've got some good stability. Then you got to cover the wire up with a little tiny piece of fondant. Just like that. Higher. Just like this. And then we have these awesome petal makers. So if you see there's little ridges in it that make it look like a flower. So I just set the petal inside. I fold it over and smash it real good. And then when you take it out, you have a nice ridged flower petal. And if you want to make it even more fancy, you can come on this nice foam flower board and use one of these cool rollers, get the edges nice and thin, and you put them with your pile of other petals. And then you can finally assemble it once you get everything done. So we probably have another 24 petals to make before we can actually assemble this flower, but it's going to look really cool by the time it's done.
So I'm creating chocolate desserts and decorations for the dessert that we're creating for the wedding at LEX 530 this Saturday. And so the process is really simple. It makes these really elegant loops that I'll show you in just a sec. But you just take a piece of acetate, which is just a kind of strip of plastic, and you make these lines across. And then you just have to wait a few seconds for it to dry. It gets a little bit more tacky so that it'll come together. Okay, and now that that's done, just fold it, and we had to slightly jury-rig this a little bit, but that metal bar is just to keep it in place so that the chocolate will solidify together, and then I'm going to put it in the cooler and I'm going to separate each of them out into these individual and extremely delicate tiny little loops that will go on our bite-sized dessert, which is flavored with passion fruit. It'll be topped with whipped cream, half a blackberry, and a chocolate swirl, and be very citrusy, very tart. We have the curd ready to go, but we haven't put anything together just yet.
Lori, our bride, had one request when it came to sweets. She wanted lots of chocolate-dipped strawberries. So of course, the baking and pastry class gladly accepted the challenge. In the next clip, Chef Chris instructs students on how to make bride and groom berries and how to assemble them on a tree for service.
Have you done a groomed strawberry? So you have it dipped in white first, then you come back in the dark and you do side and side, and you still drag. So then you have a little V for his tux. But you'll stick a toothpick and then these sort of hang and you have to push them in deep enough, but they need to sit of their own accord on each other, supported by the toothpick that they're hanging from. It sounds complicated, and it's kind of not, but you really got to get them in, and you can't poke through, but they look like they're sitting, but they're hanging on toothpicks. So then when the guests come, they can take one off, the toothpick stays, and then the chocolate's there, so it doesn't look like you're eating styrofoam.
So stay tuned. Next week, we'll show you what the catering class had to do to make the dinner portion of the event go off without a hitch. If you're interested in LEX 530 for your own event, please contact me at luann@lex530.com. Thanks for watching and have a great day.